A clay tablet sits in the British Museum's storage collection, catalogue number Mul.Apin K.8538, recovered from the ancient city of Nippur in what is now central Iraq. Curators logged it as a routine astronomical compendium, background noise from the ancient world. But buried in the third column of the second tablet is a reference to a celestial body the Sumerians called Anur, the second fire of heaven, a body that walked beside the sun for exactly 27 days before vanishing. In 2008, when researchers ran the Sumerian terminology through modern lexical and astrophysical analysis, they realized the passage wasn't mythology. It was a field report. Today we're going to do three things: decode what the Sumerian astronomers actually recorded, examine why modern astrophysics says a second body is physically possible, and uncover what was quietly buried by one of the world's premier research institutions in 1987. Subscribe for more. Your assumptions will not survive intact. The Mul.Apin tablets are not a mystery in themselves. They are among the most studied astronomical texts in human history, recovered in multiple copies from Nineveh and Nippur, with observations that historians at University College London argue date as far back as 2300 BCE. These tablets document star risings, planetary movements, lunar cycles, and the culmination stars the Mesopotamian astronomers called Zikpu. The level of precision is not what you would expect from a pre-scientific civilization. The Venus tablet of Amisaduqa documents planetary cycles to within a margin of error modern astronomers consider extraordinary for naked eye observation. These were not primitive sky gazers. They were systematic observers recording what they saw with methodical precision across generations, which is what makes the Anur entry so difficult to dismiss. The relevant passage reads in the most literal modern translation available as follows: Anur, the second fire, walks beside Utu for 27 days before the washing of heaven. After the washing, Anur does not return. Utu, in astronomical tablets, always refers to the physical sun, not the deity, and the number 27 is the problem. Not 29, not 30, 27. Three phrases in the Anur section had been mistranslated, misread, or simply ignored. Once you correct them, you are no longer reading mythology. You are reading an observational report. First, walks beside Utu. The Sumerian root Du was treated as metaphor, a god accompanying the sun. But in every other Mul.Apin passage, Du describes literal planetary motion. Jupiter walks through Leo, Venus walks eastward. The moon walks backward against the star field. Applied consistently, the phrase means physical proximity in the sky. Second, the washing of heaven. In 1978, Dr. Erika Reiner at the Oriental Institute in Chicago published a lexical study showing the phrase corresponded in every astronomical instance to documented periods of increased solar luminosity, not rain, not divine cleansing, the sun becoming brighter. Third, swallowed by the greater fire. The Sumerian root nag is used elsewhere to describe eclipses and conjunctions where one body is optically lost in the field of another. Pull the threads together. A companion body near the sun, vanishing precisely when solar brightness increased, masked by glare. Not destruction, not myth. This is a Sumerian description of a solar conjunction, written 4,000 years ago. In 1984, Berkeley astrophysicist Richard Muller published one of the most controversial papers in modern astronomical science. Working with David Raup and Jack Sepkoski, he identified a disturbing pattern in Earth's fossil record. Major extinction events occurred approximately every 26 to 30 million years. That regularity needed an explanation. Random asteroid impacts don't follow a schedule. Volcanic events don't either. Muller proposed that our sun has a companion star, a dim red dwarf in a highly elliptical orbit that passes through the Oort cloud every 26 to 30 million years, perturbing comet trajectories and sending impactors into the inner solar system. He named it Nemesis. The hypothesis was credible enough to publish in Nature and to generate a formal Berkeley search program. Infrared surveys hunted for it through the late 1980s. The program was never definitively concluded. It was quietly deprioritized. In 2011, Muller told New Scientist that absence of detection was not disproof. It meant only that if Nemesis exists, it is currently in a far orbital position. A red dwarf companion in a moderately elliptical orbit would be visible from Earth's surface for weeks to months during perihelion. 27 days falls squarely inside that window. The Sumerians were not the only ones who saw it. In Egyptian mortuary texts of the New Kingdom period from 1550 to 1070 BCE, there are repeated references to Ra's twin, a secondary solar disk that traveled ahead of the main sun before dawn. Egyptologists classified it as symbolic, the soul of Ra preceding the physical sun, a metaphor for divine anticipation. Then in 1994, Oxford historian Dr. Liana Jamiat Cheney published a survey of ancient solar iconography and noted something strange. Ra's twin was rendered consistently at approximately 27 degrees angular separation from the primary sun. Not a sacred number in Egyptian cosmology, not tied to their calendar, but precisely what a close companion star would look like during a near approach. The Vedic Rigveda, conservatively dated to 1500 BCE, contains hymns 1.2 and 3.59. The text specifies Mitra appears for one turn of the heavens before the great Surya withdraws it. In Vedic astronomical reckoning, one cosmic turn meant one orbital period, 3 civilisations, 3 languages, 3 different gods. The same observation, the same cycle, the same disappearance. In 1983, NASA's infrared astronomical satellite completed the first comprehensive infrared sky survey. It was designed in part to detect exactly the kind of low-luminosity companion object Muller had described. Red dwarfs and brown dwarfs radiate predominantly in infrared. A standard optical telescope would miss them. IRAS would not. The survey flagged anomalous point sources emitting at temperatures consistent with cool stellar bodies. In January 1984, IRAS team member Dr. Jerry Neugebauer told the Washington Post that one candidate appeared possibly as large as Jupiter and so close it would be just in the outskirts of the solar system. The article ran. Then came the silence. Subsequent JPL releases reclassified the objects as distant galaxies. Neugebauer never gave another interview on the topic. The data was archived. The analysis pipeline was never reproduced. In 1987, Naval Observatory astrometry chief Dr. Robert Harrington presented orbital calculations arguing for a body of 3 to 5 Earth masses beyond Pluto, in the same southern sky region as the IRAS anomalies. He died of esophageal cancer in 1993 before completing his search. His successor confirmed the program had been reassigned. No further explanation was offered. The work simply stopped. There is one more line on the tablet. Most published translations omit it, not because it is damaged. It is intact, not because it is ambiguous. It is among the most clearly incised passages on the tablet. It reads, "The scribes of the second fire will wait. In the count of great years, Anur returns. A great year in Sumerian astronomical reckoning meant the precession cycle, roughly 26,000 years. In other contexts, it referred to extremely long astronomical periods well beyond human lifetimes. The scribes did not record Anur's disappearance as an ending. They recorded it as a phase. They believed it would come back, and they left instructions for whoever was watching the sky when it did. Those instructions, if they exist, are in one of 11 Mul.Apin tablets currently in private collections. Provenance uncertain, untranslated." In 2009, French epigrapher Dr. Françoise Brusqueiler reported brief access to one such tablet, containing what appeared to be extended Anur sighting logs. The owner never granted formal study. Brusqueiler died in 2014. Her notes remain unpublished. 11 tablets sitting in private hands, while researchers argue over the 3 that are public. Strip away the speculation, and what remains is something quieter and stranger than alien invasion or apocalypse mythology. The Sumerians were among the most precise naked eye observers in human history. Their Venus data, their eclipse predictions, their star rise records, all verified against modern calculation. When those observers logged Anur, they were recording what they saw. Modern astrophysics gives us a framework where that observation is physically possible. Binary systems are common. Red dwarf companions are documented around other sun-like stars. Absence of detection is not absence of an object. 3 civilisations, the same cycle, the same disappearance. Reason this matters is not that the second sun is returning. It is what it tells us about the people who carved that tablet. They were not writing myth. They were writing field notes. And the scribes of the second fire are still waiting. The night sky keeps many secrets.